Hello, in this video, we're going to be multiplying with powers of 10. Super fun. Here's an example of what it means to multiply with powers of 10. Powers are these exponents again, remember. The powers is another name for them. Whenever we're dealing with powers of 10, it's actually pretty easy. Just like when we multiplied by numbers of 10, all we were doing was adding zeros. So in this case, 8 is our base number. So 8 needs to show up first. Then the only additional step you do is you look at your exponent. Because we're multiplying by powers of 10, the exponent just tells us how many zeros to add. So there is 1, so we have 1 0. So we have our base number of 8. And our exponent says 2, so we have 2 zeros. Base number 8. The exponent says 3, so we have 3 zeros. It's that simple. Let's give it a try. So here we have our example. Our base is 9. So we are going to write 9 as the base. The exponent tells us how many zeros. So a good strategy is to put that many underlined spaces because that will help show us how many zeros we need to add. So we drew 4 lines because the exponent says 4. So now we're going to fill those spaces in with zeros. And then we start from the back, 1, 2, 3, and that's where we put our comma. Now let's talk about decimal numbers. In this case, what we really are doing, and what we were doing up here, is we were moving the decimal. In whole numbers, the decimal always shows up at the end of a number. But because there's no parts of the whole, we didn't really need to write the decimal. So in this case, I'm going to rewrite 8.5. What this is telling us is we're moving the decimal 2 spots. And because we're multiplying, we want to move it in a way that's going to make the number bigger. And because we're multiplying by a positive number. So we're going to move it 2 spots. Here's our decimal. We move it 1 spot. So that's 1 spot. We're going to move it another spot. So that's 2 spots. So our decimal started out right here. Now our decimal is here. What goes into these empty spaces are zeros then. So our answer is 850. Because the decimal moved 2 spots backwards. Now we don't need to write the decimal because this is a whole number now. So the decimal didn't need to be there. Now it's your turn. Here are a few to try on your own. Pause the video after you see the problems and try them. Then resume the video to find if your answers are correct. Welcome back. We're going to take a look at the answers you came up with. So in the first one, we had a base of 6, and then we add 3 zeros. So a 6 with 3 zeros gives us 6,000. This one could have been a little tricky. Our base is 40. It already had a 0 in it. So we still need our base of 40, but then we're going to add 4 more zeros. So our answer ends up being 400,000. And in the next one, we are moving our decimal. Because we had 2 places after the decimal. That used up one space, two space. So we still needed to get to 5 because that's what our exponent was. So spaces 3, 4, and 5 all turned into zeros. So this one's the answer is 594,000. Keep practicing. It will get easier as you get moving.